Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, October 5th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, we got confirmation that there was probably a small update, which I am naming the Google birthday update, on September 27th. Obviously, Google's birthday is on September 27th, and that update happened around September 27th. Danny Sullivan confirmed on Twitter for us, saying our core algorithm is updated all the time. For major updates, we'll continue to share those on the Twitter account over there, as we have been, but we haven't had any major updates of that nature. But we did have a smaller one this week, and I go through what is a smaller update. Again, if you were hit by this update, it doesn't feel small, but Google's means smaller. Maybe they did less code changes, maybe it was some little small tweaks, or maybe it impacted a smaller number of sites. Some people are saying this has to do with a tweak to the Medic update. Some people are saying it has to do with other things. This update, again, touched down on September 27th, which we covered last week. Talking about Google updates, I told you a little bit more about what Googlers are saying specifically around these September updates, and we have basically John Mueller talking about that Google's constantly changing, constantly updating, constantly trying to make their search results better, which means your websites have to be more quality, more useful, more relevant to the user. And John mentioned, of course, the Google Search Quality Raters Guidelines is a good way to look to see what Google wants to rank in the search results. So if you're interested in Google's comments on that, definitely take a look over there. Like I said, there's lots of Google updates happening, and one of those happened yesterday, I believe. A little shuffle. Google hasn't confirmed this yet, but it's just been a wild past several weeks or so, and we probably saw a Google algorithm update sometime yesterday. Definitely people are seeing tweaks to that, probably for the tweaks to the September 27th, the Google birthday update, and we will see what people have to say about that. But in any event, there does seem to be an update that happened yesterday, a smaller one of that nature. So definitely take a look at your rankings and see if you need to make any changes on your end. I published our monthly Google Webmaster Report. Lots of stuff in here, as you can imagine, around our Google algorithm updates, Google's rendering docs, and so forth. So take a look at this if you want to catch up on the past month. It's a very quick way to do so if you've been on vacation for the past few weeks. Google finally has released their documentation around dynamic rendering. Dynamic rendering was announced at Google I/O a few months ago, I think back in May. And it's basically a method for you to go ahead and build very complex, dynamically driven JavaScript sites and let Google have a workaround on how to index that by giving Google a cached or HTML static version of that page and giving the users the more dynamic version. And Google finally released the documentation around that. You have your server, you go ahead and give the browser one thing, whereas you're giving the crawler another thing. It's not cloaking as long as the browser and the crawler result in the same thing, but just how it's served up is different to the browser versus the crawler. Google said with the mobile first indexing process, as you can imagine, this is not new, but app interstitials can be problematic. So if you're serving up a page to Google and Google's using mobile first indexing and just serving this big app interstitial, and that's all Google's mobile first indexing process is going to see is a big overlay, not be able to get to the content. So be careful with that. This is unrelated to the app interstitial penalty from back in 2015. It's just how Google will index your content. Google said basically the process of making quality links in general, the concept around I'm going to make quality links to my website is, in a sense, against Google's Webmaster Guidelines. Going out and making links. It said if you are making quality links to your site, then that would be considered against Google Webmaster Guidelines. And by that, those links would definitely not be considered quality. If you're going out there and making these links up, that again is not natural. And of course, this is driving a huge debate because obviously a bunch of SEOs are link builders. They do create links to websites because that's what Google's algorithm relies a lot on, and defining what's natural versus against the guidelines and so forth. Google, that line has been pushed and pushed and pushed by Google and of course that upsets a lot of people. So definitely take a look at that if you want to see some controversy. Google is showing some people a Google Search Console snapshot directly in the search results. So here's a screenshot. If you are the verified user, you might get this directly in the search results. Here's another screenshot of it. You see here, search results, and then your site on Google, and it shows you your clicks, impressions, and average position for now versus the past previous 7 days. It kind of drives you into the Google Search Console to get more awareness around the Google Search Console. Google is testing clustering or combining feature snippet refinement bubbles. So refinement bubbles came out back in April, but now Google's testing where they have these like kind of groupings. So packages, adventures, and tours in one group, and guided and escorted is in another group. So it's a kind of part of probably that topic layer that we discussed a couple weeks ago, where Google's better at understanding the dynamic categorization of a specific page and able to do these groupings pretty well. Pretty cool to see Google doing that. Google is testing an Explore Carousel in the local search results. So it's basically like a local pack carousel. You can see a screenshot here. This basically shows this Explore tab, and you can actually scroll through it. It's kind of like, all right, you search for this specific restaurant. Here are other options in the area. Definitely take a look at those options because you might not be happy with the other options that we're showing you. Google's testing a new navigation kind of slider solution for mobile search. I do not like it at all, but you can see here, it's a screenshot. You can see the slider here, and when you start using it, or you try to use it, it will actually slide you to different sections on the search results page. So about, top results, similar tools that people also ask. It's basically a jump to, anchor down solution for the Google search results. I hate it, but I doubt Google will launch it, but we'll see. Google's also testing search boxes for local reviews. So a way to search the local reviews in the Google Maps results, which is pretty cool. I like this idea. I like to use Amazon search boxes for searching reviews on Amazon, on products that I buy on Amazon before I buy it. Google My Business agency is testing a migration tool. A lot of people were not happy with the Google agency dashboard, and I guess Google's making tweaks to it by providing an agency tool that improves the process of transferring listings to organizational accounts. So we'll see what people say about that. It's not fully rolled out. It's only being tested for some people. I got an email from Google yesterday saying my AdWords account or Google Ads account will be only available on the new interface starting October 18th. Google also put a tweet out there starting October 4th. The new Google Ads will become the exclusive way to manage your accounts and access to the previous the old interface will no longer be available. Now, October 4th, October 18th, I hear some people getting things about November. So Google's trying to go for the October 4th message, but they are giving some people a longer time to migrate over if they need to. I posted a poll, or somebody posted a poll actually, and I just took the results, where Cyrus posted this poll basically asking people, do you think links could hurt you? And the poll, where's that poll, basically said, without a Google penalty, bad links could do what? And people said, 20% said Google ignores those bad links, 100%. 63% said they could damage your rankings, and 17% said it can't hurt, but maybe it can help you. Very interesting. Google Assistant got a redesign and also allows developers and Google Assistant developers to actually enable transactions or earn money through it. The redesign is supposed to help with giving people an easier way to use the Google Assistant results over voice and by tapping on things and like on the screen itself. And Google added the ability to actually do transactions by talking to your Google device, which is pretty cool. That wasn't allowed before. The Google feed got a redesign as well. And the Google feed is now called Google Discover. That's a big change. Obviously, the name changed. But the biggest thing here is now the Google.com homepage on mobile will be the Google feed or Google Discover. So it's changing. The whole experience on Google.com is going to be really rich and experienced, like kind of like the Yahoo portal, as opposed to just a Google search box. So definitely take a look at that. It's a big change that's happening sometime soon. And finally, the Google Lens-like features is coming to Google Image Search, where you're going to be able to go ahead and go to Google Image Search, click on an image, and then zoom into a specific part of that image and say Google Lens, scan that result. So you can see here, when you click on a specific result, it's going to let you click on a lens icon that lets you zoom into a specific image, which is pretty cool. In any event, that pretty much covers the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Today is Friday, October 5th, and that's the search news we covered over at the Searching Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.